Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Tim White. To my left, WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi. We have Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca and Meteorologist Pete Mangione. So, guys, how's things?
Great. How was your week?
Yeah, great. It's been quiet. It's certainly a learning experience. I mean, Pete and I have been doing this a long, long time, and every now and then you will run into something like this, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about that storm. So we had the nor'easter, or the storm earlier this week. The snow totals weren't realized at the end of the day. Why was this such a challenging storm to forecast?
You would agree that really every storm has its challenges, is very unique. I mean, there are so many moving parts in the atmosphere that come together to create a storm, and they all have to, come together in sync and right on top of the smallest state in the country. And if one of those pieces is either missing or it's in the wrong spot, it throws everything off. I think the simple explanation with this last storm, just tracking a little further offshore by, what do you think, Pete, maybe 50 to maybe 75 miles, which seems like a lot, but it's really very little, because in this particular storm, Long Island, New York, the Twin Forks of Long Island, over 12 inches of snow. So as the crow flies, that's only 50 miles from our viewing area. So that's the near miss that we were dealing with, and just those heavy bands of snow not quite coming in during the nighttime hours. The daytime forecast panned out as expected.
The timing was right.
Well, we didn't really think that travel was going to be an issue during the day. Our concern was more during the evening and at night, and not so much during the day. In fact, we stressed how the morning commute would be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, were you surprised, Pete, when schools started getting canceled?
Yeah, I was. Simply because I think, and we've been saying, and not just us, the other TV stations and basically the other forecasts had been saying, this isn't really going to stick until at night, or at least late in the afternoon, so it shouldn't really be a big deal traveling during the day. That being said, I still realize it's a tough decision when maybe they see that part of the forecast. Okay, it's going to start to stick in the evening. Maybe they say, okay, well, if it's off by maybe an hour or two, then the concern is maybe kids are coming home when it's not so good outside. But overall, I was surprised by that decision.
You wrote a blog post, I think, partway through the week. I was interested in how you guys were analyzing both the forecast and then how it changed. And you said March is harder. To all of us who are just laymen watching you guys, we think, well, it's the weather.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Whether it's August or February, whatever. And you said no, March can be uniquely challenging compared to other parts of the winter. Talk about why.
Well, basically, it's because March tends to be warmer. So you have a higher sun angle. So if you have snow that's falling during the day, it's tough for it to accumulate. Now, if you get a really powerful storm and the snow is really thumping, then yes, it can accumulate, but you really need it to be coming down hard. And Tony, I think I remember my first year here, you kind of maybe sent me an email one time when I was forecasting a storm. You said, hey, be careful of the snow that falls during the day during March.
Did you start the email with "Listen, kid"?
Yeah. Hey, you listen up,
son.
We were in black and white then.
Daylight snow from mid-March to early April really has to come down hard to stick to the pavement. And I know you've guys seen this many times, where it snows and it's sticking to the grass, it's sticking to your car, it's sticking to the patio deck, but it's melting on the pavement. And a lot of times in March, daylight snow really won't stick on the pavement unless it's coming down very hard. So we felt as though the pavement during the daytime with this storm would just be wet, and not so much wet and icy until the setting of the sun and then the cooling of the temperatures. Now, with that said, the other part of the storm, the nighttime part of the storm, clearly didn't materialize, and clearly not as much snow as anticipated. But what we were trying to stress with the daytime was that the commute was going to be okay, even into the early afternoon, other than wet roads not really getting tricky until towards the late afternoon or early evening.
So before, I asked you guys to come on to Newsmakers before that storm even hit.
Yes.
So
and we tried to back out.
We did. And I would have called you. We would have had 2 empty seats here.
Empty chair.
That's right. That's right. We won't treat you any different. But let's look at March as a whole and go back at what it just feels like to us, what a busy month it has been weather-wise. Walk us through, Tony, recap the month, what we've had, and why. Why has it felt like such a busy month?
Well, we've been calling it March Madness.
Yes.
And really, there's been 4 nor'easters. Of course, 3 were high impact. Of course, the last one, the miss. But, this goes back to March 2nd.
Yep.
And that was the one that really had a lot of strong wind and extremely high power outages, over about 150,000. The next storm on the 7th, was another significant storm. It had it was the storm that was being described as why the snowflakes so large.
Yeah.
It was a very wet, heavy, like cement snow, and that created a lot of weight on tree limbs and power lines. You get your power outages there. The third one, really near blizzard conditions, and it's not often you get 1 to 2 feet of snow, but that snow producing huge amounts of snow and a lot of problems as well. And then March 21st, I really just choose to forget that one. The close call, but we were talking about, our team was talking about in late February how the pattern was going to change. When we refer to the pattern, we're referring to the jet stream, and that caught Pete's eye to the point where you had blogged about how, how the jet stream was shaping up in this particular pattern that we call the North Atlantic Oscillation.
That's right.
So we're throwing around
the
fancy
NAO.
So we're throwing around fancy words, but all we're really telling folks is that it's the steering winds of the jet streams in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So I want to show this graphic. You created this graphic a couple.
This is a jet stream graphic that you were talking, and this is probably why we feel like we're in some sort of a bowling alley of storms right now. So Pete, walk us through this.
First of all, that's a great zoom, don't you think?
It's beautiful.
Well done.
So for much of March, what you've had is what we call a blocking high pressure pattern up near Greenland, and that creates that dip in the jet stream to be over our area for a good part of the month. That's where storms like to go. It also allows cold air to come in.
Okay.
And it acts kind of like a traffic jam. So as long as that high is sitting up there, it's hard to move the dip in the jet stream, and that means it's hard to get rid of the storming pattern. And so far
we're like
March,
a highway for a storm right now.
Yes.
Exactly, and that big blue H, every time a storm develops, that blue H, that high pressure, slows it down. So it stays near the coastline. It has the opportunity to intensify. They tend to be slow movers and very high impact. So when we see that kind of a roller coaster pattern in the jet stream, it's a red flag to us that March is going to be a busy month, and in fact, it has been.
Has that jet stream already started moving and changing? Or are we still in that? Are we on the L side of the jet stream still?
We're seeing signs of it breaking down, but not until probably until early April.
So you got to watch their forecast.
Get out right now.
Yeah, we don't want to hear anymore.
I didn't want to say that. It looked like longer term in April it may go back into that kind of stormy pattern.
Tony, I was saying to Tim, we just did a political poll. We were talking about that on this show, and we always have to talk about the margin of error, and that we're not saying that this is exactly where everything is. We're giving you a sense of it as best we can. There's some truth out of a forecast, right? You're not saying this is like the most likely scenario, but there's always room for change and shift.
Yeah. And the reason why we give forecast, like initially the forecast range for snow will be very broad when it's several days out, and as we get closer and closer, we try to narrow down that range. We want to narrow down the timing, when it arrives, when it will leave, when the worst of the storm will occur. We try to nail down that timing and the range of snow and start to think about what locations will have more or less. We start talking about probabilities, like this is a high probability here, low probability here, and we give other scenarios. This is what we're calling for. However, it can do this and it can do that. That's on the window of opportunity, but this is what we're going with. So if it deviates left or right, the viewer understands that they were talking about these other possible scenarios. And this is the reason why maybe something has changed last minute.
Do you think we've all become spoiled? My wife was talking to her dad, who tells Blizzard of '78 stories, and everyone always says part of why that was so epically bad was because we didn't know super far in advance how serious it would be. It seems like the technology has gotten so good, and you guys have such an ability to tell us now what's happening that people they don't expect a storm like this where it goes a little off.
Right. I mean, that is so true. I think as the technology and the forecasting has improved, the expectations have grown.
Exactly.
So now if you say it's going to start snowing at 3 p.m. and it starts snowing at 2:15, people will say, oh, this is terrible. This is way off. Whereas, maybe 10, 20 years ago, if you were within a few hours, it was considered pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And the problem with the blizzard of '78 was that we were supposed to wake up to snow on the ground, and we all woke up, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, nothing on the ground. So we all go to work, we all go to school. It starts to snow at 10. It's out of control by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So talk about not just getting the amount of snow correct, but you want to nail down the timing. Take the blizzard of '78 and have it strike 3 a.m. on a Saturday. It's a completely different storm. So timing is everything, and not just the amounts of precipitation.
On the other end of this studio is the Pinpoint Weather Center, where you guys, we walk in here and we see you guys behind those computers, and you are all working very hard. We see it every single day. Do you guys ever disagree with each other on where you think a storm, might land?
Because we never do.
That's right.
We're always in lockstep.
I mean, you did have me in a headlock that one time, right?
But we're constantly consulting each other. So, like, an example would be as I finish my shift, and then either Michelle, or Pete, or TJ is starting the next shift. We'll call each other. We'll talk to each other. And say, hey, listen, this is what I was thinking, and then we'll say, well, you know, new information is coming in, and we're suggesting that maybe X, Y, Z. And I'm like, okay, well, let's change this a little bit. So we try to stay on the same page. That there's always communication with the four of us, TJ, Pete, and Michelle, and it's not just Pete decided on doing this, and then when I come in, it's like.
Right, because you don't want our forecast to change based on who's working.
So we work off of each other's forecast and thinking, and we stay in communication. And of course, with the internet, I mean, we analyze the same information at home. I mean, and we all do the same thing. We wake up in the morning, and we're eating breakfast at the table, and we have the iPad, and we're looking at it. So it's 24.
Always working. I love it.
It's like 24/7, not just here in the forecast center, but even at home as well. We're constantly, especially when storms are coming, and a lot of long hours.
And when there's two of us together, which we do a lot during storms, it's not necessarily a disagreement. Sometimes it's, you know, the person might be busy with 8 million other things. If Michelle's on the air, Tony's on the air, TJ's on the air, I'll be behind the scenes catching things that maybe they just don't have time to look at because there's just so much going on during a storm.
All right, so we have 30 seconds left here, Tony. We're taping on a Friday. A lot of people watch this on a weekend. Big weekend for Special Olympics. Are you doing the plunge?
I'm jumping in the ocean.
What's the water temp going to be?
43, and there will be, believe it or not, we're talking about this weather pattern, another ocean storm. This one is supposed to be a miss, but it's going to be close enough on Sunday to make it windy, cloudy, cold, and some floods.
Do you see this as penance for your forecast this week?
It actually stings. But myself, Mike Montecavo, and Yanni Caracas jumping in.
Tony Petrarca, Pete Mangione, thanks for joining us. For Ted Nisi, I'm Tim White. We'll see you next week on Newsmakers.